When the president heard that many of the volunteers wouldn't be able to see him in the arena, he began to reach out to them by making personal phone calls. Social media consumes today's generation so much that bullying isn't only face-to-face anymore, it's online. From the outside, this may look like your average home, but on the inside, it's a daycare. I'm Lauren Everett at the Democratic National Convention in Charlotte. President Obama just made his acceptance speech, and we talked to some people who were inside the arena to get their reaction. Are you a journalism student who wants to polish and perfect your journalistic skills? Then the NABJ Multimedia Short Course is the program for you.
I accept your nomination for president.
In the ballroom in the convention center, volunteers of the Democratic Party gathered to watch President Obama's acceptance speech.
I'm glad they made an alternate event that we could go to. I would have liked to have been there, but I'll go along with their decision.
The president's speech was moved indoors due to weather concerns. These volunteers had planned to be there, but couldn't due to lack of space.
You know what? He is here. He's in the house. He is on the grounds.
When the president heard that many of the volunteers wouldn't be able to see him in the arena, he began to reach out to them by making personal phone calls.
Well, all it was thank you for your service, thank you for the opportunity, stuff like that.
The change of venue didn't affect the excitement of the volunteers.
Look at the people here. My goodness, the people here are just electrified by all these talks. There's so many great speakers.
They are here in spirit, and we're here with them with our hearts.
President Obama is hoping to carry over all this excitement to the elections in November. At the Democratic Convention, I'm Lauren Everett. Gifford County Food Pantry is one of many North Carolina food pantries that got hit hard during the government shutdown. Having to restock its shelves hasn't been an easy task for owner Pastor Sturdivant.
We buy it through Second Harvest at 19 cents a pound, and we buy it through Urban Ministry at 16 cents a pound. When you're looking at pounds, I mean, believe me, they add up. Sometimes we have 6,000 to 7,000 pounds in one issue, and so it can get pretty costly.
Food pantries can also receive food from private donors, but it's never enough to keep them from purchasing their goods from food banks, which isn't always cost effective.
So a lot of times people donate food to them, they turn around and they'll tack a handling charge on it, and they'll charge us, and we have to buy that from them.
Several days ago, it was announced that food banks would receive almost $3 million in grants to restock their shelves. $3 million that Pastor Sturdivant thinks food pantries won't benefit much from.
What about the pantries? They're going to get $3 million to go buy food so we can turn around and buy it from them.
Now, according to Pastor Sturdivant, the $3 million that food banks will be receiving from the government will have no effect on the fact that food pantries such as his will still have to pay for their goods. With JMC 475 News, I'm Lauren Everett. At the top of this driveway lives a monumental piece of Greensboro's history. This is the home of Nanny Henrietta McAdoo Dick, Greensboro's first black librarian.
Well, I guess I was. Oh, me, I guess I was. Yeah.
Born on August 31st, 1919, to a truck driver and a stay-at-home mom, Mrs. Dick was the youngest girl in her family, but that didn't stop her from being the first to graduate college, earning a degree in elementary education in 1942.
Yeah, well, I went to Bennett College, that's all and got an education. But they said you want to learn how to live and get along with people and share by living on the campus.
These morals she learned while at Bennett and after teaching in Rockingham and Lenoir County schools helped to prepare her for the next journey of her life, which was becoming the librarian of the bookmobile at Carnegie Library.
Well, we went for community to community, and I had firebox that registered the kids and the adults, whoever wanted to register, so they could check out books.
The bookmobile was like a lifesaver, you know. You were able to get books for your kids to read, and and it was just an exciting time to be able to get those books because we didn't have access. We weren't allowed in the public library downtown.
And after working the bookmobile, Mrs. Dick went on to be the first black librarian at that library downtown.
And I can remember seeing her downtown. You know, she was always helpful, you know, always willing to do anything she could. If you had a problem, she was always willing to dig. You know, if you had homework, she'd always be willing to dig and help you, you know, find anything you needed.
And then they'd come in, because they'd come in sometime after they found my name out. Some of them would come in and looking for me so that she could find anything.
Though she got along well with her customers, some of her co-workers weren't too fond of working with an African American.
That most of them would go to lunch with me, but some of the whites wouldn't want to go to lunch with me. Didn't want to go to lunch at the same time I did.
And her lunch was right around the corner from where civil rights movements, such as the Woodworth Sit-In, were taking place.
I went down and joined. That's what a lot of adults were doing, because the younger people started, and we went down to show them that we approved of what they were doing.
Despite facing some civil rights hardships, Mrs. Dick continued to work for the city of Greensboro until retiring in 1981. However, she continued her work with young people through her church and is still an active alum of Bennett College. In 2006, the School Board of Education decided to name Dudley High School's Media Center in her honor, and because this is her alma mater. Now, to her, this honor should send a particular message to today's youth.
To try to step out and do something different, and always try to do the thing that's right, rather than, you know, you don't have to make such a big splash of things to be seen. I didn't ever want to just be seen. I wanted to be able to produce.
In Greensboro, I'm Lauren Everett.